This is Greenland, a frozen empty land owned by Denmark and ignored by the world. But suddenly, Greenland is back. Not because of its people, not because of its tourism, but because Donald Trump wants it. And he made it a national security issue.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
President Trump has repeated his threat to take over Greenland, saying the United States must own the Arctic island to prevent Russia or China taking control.
Here is the scary part. A few years ago, the idea of taking land from a NATO ally would have been unthinkable. Today, those rules don't look so solid anymore. So the real question is, why the most powerful country on earth is willing to risk everything to control it? To understand that, we need to go back in time. Believe it or not, this isn't America's first attempt to take Greenland. During World War II, Denmark fell to Nazi Germany and overnight Greenland became exposed. The United States stepped in not as an invader but as protector.
There's more trouble for the Americans at North Star Bay near Thule in Greenland. And it's over those 4 H-bombs they lost when a US B-52 bomber crashed there in flames. Though the hunt is on to locate the missing nuclear weapons, trouble's on its way from Denmark. Greenland belongs to the Danes, and they're annoyed that United States bombers with nuclear payloads should be overflying their territory, apparently without their consent.
They built airstrips, radio stations, military posts, and after the war ended, America didn't leave. In 1953, the US established massive air bases in northern Greenland, including what would become the northernmost American military outpost on Earth. Why? Because from Greenland, you see Moscow was closer than you think. Due to Earth's curvature, Greenland sat perfectly to detect Soviet missiles and to launch reconnaissance missiles.
How's the search going? At Thule Air Base, a press conference. First, an eyewitness report from the first man on the scene of the crash, Jens England, a Dane.
I saw a big fire out there, and I heard a real boom, and the fire was getting very big. Obviously, it was a great amount of fuel burning, and it slowed down a little bit.
In 2008, something changed everything. American geological researchers made a discovery so massive, it rewrote Greenland's future. Under the ice, they found rare earth minerals, natural gas, and a potential over 50 billion barrels of oil. That's more oil than what the United States officially has in proven reserves. The Arctic alone is believed to contain 13% of world's undiscovered oil. 30% is of its natural gas, and Greenland sits right on top of it. But there is a problem. Greenland doesn't want to drill. In 2021, its government banned new oil and gas exploration, citing environmental damage and high costs. Now here is where Trump comes in. He doesn't believe climate change should block economic power, and his philosophy is simple. Resources unused are power wasted. To him, Greenland isn't frozen land, it's locked potential.
I believe it's an outrage, really. Denmark has been a very good ally for the United States of America, and for Trump to threaten to take over territory from the Kingdom of Denmark, I think it's just unbelievable. You need to tell bullies like Trump to back off. That's the only language he understands.
Well, to me it sounds kind of medieval, like something we did in Europe and the rest of the world hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So I don't see it really in today's policy as a thing you can do or will do. It's totally crazy. I can't decide what the American president is going to do, but we can react the way we do, saying this is not going to happen. This is totally stupid.
The Danish Prime Minister called together all the leaders of the European area, and they have stated clearly this is not acceptable what he is doing. He has to stop that.
For thousands of years, the Arctic was a wall, and that wall is melting. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet.
According to the Canadian government, by 2050, the Arctic Ocean will become an increasingly viable shipping route between Europe and Asia during the summer.
And as the ice retreats, new shipping routes are opening. routes that can cut off journeys between Asia, Europe and North America weeks. Forgot the Suez Canal, forgot Panama. The future trade seaways run through the Arctic. And right in the middle of these routes is Greenland. You control Greenland and you influence the flow of global trade. And remember this, 80% of global trade still moves by the sea. In the last decade alone, Arctic shipping traffic has jumped sharply, and this is just the beginning. But the problem is US isn't alone anymore. Let's understand.
Global tensions find a new stage in the warming Arctic.
Tonight, the U.S. closely monitoring growing military cooperation between Russia and China.
There are more people, more interested eyes looking to the Arctic.
Russia rebuilt dozens of Arctic military bases, expanded icebreaker fleets, and even planted a flag beneath the North Pole. And then there is China, a country nowhere near the Arctic, yet investing billions into it. China calls itself a near Arctic state. They are funding infrastructure, ports and mining projects, including in Greenland.
Even non-Arctic states are looking to the Arctic and inserting themselves into the Arctic as much as they can.
It has potential shipping lanes, it has a tremendous endowment of natural resources.
America reopened its Greenland consulate, upgraded military bases, poured billions into Arctic defense. And suddenly, Trump's obsession didn't sound so crazy. To him, Greenland isn't Danish land, it's a front line, a choke point. So can America buy it? Denmark says no. Invading NATO ally, still officially unthinkable. But in today's world, pressure, leverage and negotiation blur the line between peace and force.
Donald Trump is doubling down on Greenland. Earlier this week, his threat to use military force in order to seize control of the territory sparked outrage on the part of Denmark and its European allies. In his latest remarks, Mr. Trump has said that Greenland is crucial to the national security of the United States, given the increased military activity on the part of Russia and China in the Arctic region, and that if the US doesn't gain control of the territory, then either Russia or China will do so. That is not going to happen, said Mr. Trump. And he also made a comment that some in Europe may find chilling. He said of the US desire to acquire Greenland, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
And here is the final truth. Even if Greenland is never bought, as the ice keeps melting, its value only will rise. Greenland is in the future. Greenland is the present, and the world is just waking up to it. Thank you for sticking till the end. You want fun? Watch my latest 2025 look back video. It's actually very fun to watch. I've cut like that. And if you felt this information valuable, consider subscribing. And see you again. Bye.